Man Spam is going to move forward by Shoktrepet, moving into AssassinSpy's base. So AssassinSpy is ready for it. He has a couple of number of bike and buggy. He just used a decoy army. He's going to start moving in on these Titans and try to take them out. One cultist does grab the Zone Shatterer, but he dies just as quickly as he's able to get it. Welcome to Kane's Wrath. I'm your host, Korak, and today's map is Tiberium Grounds. We are on patch R22F. Starts off in the top corner of the map, wearing the purple robes and the steel talon gloves. We have Shoktrepet. His opponent for the moment in the bottom side of the map, wearing the blue robes, sporting the nod gloves. We have AssassinSpy. Both fighters ready. Begin. This is quite a treat. It looks like AssassinSpy is at least making a small little bit of a comeback into the game. From what I understand, he took a little bit of a break, and to see him hopping into a game and going up against Shoktrepet is definitely a nice thing to see. Everybody has moved into the center, which is rather traditional. They're just going to do some shooting back and forward and just holding those positions in order to give themselves some sort of line of sight. That's going to be really important against a player like Shoktrepet, especially AssassinSpy, being the nod player. They're going to be more inclined to do something sneaky. Nothing there as far as yet. I don't think anyone has been able to make a scout off for the moment. Shock is trying to make his way down there now with a couple of infantry. That'll be a good idea. I don't think he's expecting a flame tank rush, but that is something that he will need to watch out for, that Nod is definitely known for. I'm not as familiar with patch R22F. I'm not sure all of the intricacies of what was significant on it. I think this is before the Harvester fix, though, if I remember correctly. Someone could correct me down in the comments what the keynotes of R22F is. I don't mind casting some of the older videos, because I still think there's good content out there that has yet to be cast. It does look like Shoktrepet's finally going to get his first little bit of scouting off. I would say that would be too little too late, in my opinion, if AssassinSpy was up to something sneaky, but maybe Shoktrepet knows AssassinSpy significantly better than I do, and knows that he's not typically a rush player, but I don't know for sure. We are getting a small amount of scouting in the northern section of the map. There are pit bulls here to go ahead and start picking on this raider buggy who's going to get caught in kind of a bad spot. And it looks like we was able to garrison. It looks like Shoktrepet was able to garrison some troops inside of AssassinSpy base. I didn't even realize that little bunker was there. That is particularly annoying. The bikes are here to mop them up, though, so it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. And a good move over here by AssassinSpy is he's able to get a whole bunch of free shots off the Tiberium spike. That is something definitely nice to grab, while his opponent has not done the same. Well, Shoktrepet hasn't done the same, but it looks like Shoktrepet is deciding to go for a bit of an early assault. He's got a couple of MRTs and pit bulls moving in. They're going to start mopping up some of the structures here, kicking some of the units out, giving a little bit of breathing room. That does mean that their assault was scouted out, and they were able to see that coming, and they're actually going to see the first Titan that Shoktrepet was able to get out. First set of bike and buggies are over here for AssassinSpy. He's starting to group everything up and move into that transition. That's going to be a good defense against all of the pit bulls and MRTs. However, it's not going to be able to do too much against this Titan. Does look like the units did finally get taken out over here. No, actually, they're left alone after that assault. They're deciding to go in. They're going to deal even more damage to that Tiberium spike. I'm not sure why the militant squads aren't firing. Maybe he has just not seen it quite yet. I guess he is focusing on the garrisons over on his side of the base. Not a bad idea, but getting as much damage as you can on that Tiberium spike is going to be critically important. Missing that's going to bite AssassinSpy in the butt, doing all the damage he possibly could. He could have done a significant amount of damage with the remaining two troopers. Running into the building is not the best idea, AssassinSpy. Grenade squads are very good. They're kind of meant to get people out of garrisons, and they did that job particularly well. Shoktrepet is still positioning over on the left-hand side of the map, but it looks like AssassinSpy is absolutely on top of it. One Harvester is going to make it out with a little more than half Tiberium as the forces for AssassinSpy begin to come and reinforce it, forcing Shoktrepet to not be able to keep up with that particular Harvester. Thought we had an assault over there, but we did not. Another Titan's going to get scouted by the Militant Squads. Militant Squads are just trying to get some poking around, but they're going to get taken out rather quickly. A good chunk of bikes are here. That'll be definitely good to use. You can use those bikes to maneuver around the Steel Talons faction and start picking on some turrets, but it just depends where those Titans are going to end up. I guess he could be using some of the bikes to do that, and it looks like he's going for the Tiberium Spike. Not a bad idea, but if he loses units for free, that's not going to be particularly great for him. Tiberium Spike is still just barely hanging in there. The middle is still getting taken over by Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet doing a very good job of finally pushing AssassinSpy out of the center of the map. That's going to give him some time and give him control over the center part of the map. And I've said many times before, controlling that center has a lot of importance. Not only can you see things coming, but you can also prevent your enemy from going through that section as well. And that's going to be really important the further and further this game goes up. We do have our first operation centers for AssassinSpy. He also has a good number of bike and buggy. He just used a decoy army. He's going to start moving in on these Titans and try to take them out. That's going to be a good strategy. The decoy army is going to be able to take over a whole bunch of that. One Titan gets taken down almost completely for free as these units just continue to run around. I think there is a time limit, though, on the decoy army. I'm not sure that how long they can hang out. They're moving over here to start dealing with the harassment of Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet doing a very good job of dividing the attention of his opponents. AssassinSpy has a large number of bike and buggies, and actually if they can catch all of these pit bulls and these MRTs, that'll be a good grab for them. These units are absolutely isolated unless the Titans can make their way there on time. If they stick around long enough, they definitely can do that, but losing those forces is going to hurt Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet's going to need every little bit that he can get his hands on. He has transitioned into a crazy amount of Titans, and I'm not sure there's an answer quite yet to them. I'm not sure what this bike and buggy can do against a Titan and a Marv. AssassinSpy needs to transition into something probably a little bit stronger, or he needs to seriously outmaneuver his opponent. He's got the maneuverability against his opponent, so he should be trying the best he can to get what little kills he can here and there, doing some small picking back and forward, but I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to get picked off more and more by these Titans. These Titans are just going to do a great job of killing more and more of these lower tier units. They specialize in killing specifically vehicles, which is the only thing that these guys have right now. Maybe transitioning into some man spam would be a good idea against all of these Titans. You have time, you can build one or two hand of nods and begin to prepare for that. Even if they just soak up a bunch of damage, that's going to be great for them. It does look like we have a couple of air units over here by Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet doing a much better job of teching up and using his transition. We do have a couple of avatars that is going to be decent against the Titans, but these Titans are still going to hit hard, and it looks like the Titans actually have 2 upgrades to them. Those avatars are going to need some sort of support. And I'm not sure, even with Tibcore rockets, the attack bikes are going to be enough. However, if he is watching, if AssassinSpy is watching, he's going to be able to catch an MCV over here. No, the deployment does happen, and it turns into a construction yard relatively quickly. The avatars are moving forward. It looks like they took out 2, possibly 3, maybe 4 Titans. That's very good for them for almost for free. 1 avatar did get hurt, so maybe the avatars are a better match against the Titans than I realize. However, this is still a large number of Titans for them to deal with. Fanatics moving forward, looking like they're going to do a little bit of scouting. I think they're a little bit faster than the normal units, so that may not be a bad idea. We do actually get a good EMP over here for AssassinSpy. He was able to get 1 Titan almost for free, almost a second Titan here in a second if the Obelisk can take it out. There it is. There is a second Titan down. AssassinSpy doing an amazing job of just slowly picking off these Titans, doing a very good job of moving forward. This Obelisk is going to be able to put in some work. However, it does look like, oh, never mind. There is the EMP. A whole bunch of more of these Titans are going to get taken out almost for free. AssassinSpy doing an amazing job against Shoktrepet here, picking off these units left and right. Shoktrepet is moving into one of the, it looks like the old main base of his opponent of AssassinSpy, relatively uncontested. There are no Titans there to stop, but he did lose the majority of his forces over here in this fight. He is starting to harvest up the resources over there. I believe that's not quite as efficient as getting it with a like full-blown harvester and whatnot, but getting those resources are going to be able to give him a little bit of boost, and he is going to need that boost if he's going to do something. He has not dealt with these avatars whatsoever, and these avatars are actually getting some ranks up. Looks like the Titans are finally going to get EMP'd and taken out over here on the left. That's going to be good for AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy doing a much better job than I originally expected with these EMPs and these rocket squads, or not rocket squads, and these bikes. Putting in some major work against the Titans. I guess the maneuverability and the EMPs make a massive difference there. It doesn't look like we have 3 mana tanks, I'm sorry, and a Titan moving in here, but that obelisk is just going to keep poking at them over and over. AssassinSpy's going to lose a harvester over on the right-hand side, but he's more interested in taking out these mana tanks. That would be more critical than I would expect. I would definitely go for that. His micro is not here quite as well. He should have moved that unit out sooner and left the unit with green HP just a little bit out there. He could have sucked up a little bit more damage. And this Marv is actually caught in a really bad position. If AssassinSpy can do it correctly, he can not only EMP the Marv, but he can hit it from the rear armor. He needs to get those units behind the Marv, and I think Shoktrepet is sort of sensing that, and he did back up just a little bit. There is one EMP, and that's going to give them plenty of time to take that out, and if he keeps it up, he can keep chaining those EMPs and just absolutely wrecking those Marvs. That'll be extremely devastating for Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet needs that Marv. He is getting these higher tier units, but the higher tier units aren't doing him a crazy amount of work right now. It looks like just a handful of avatars have been able to take it. And actually, we're getting a little bit of first of our battle base of rig moving forward, but that seems to be the primary target for the avatars. Avatars take out the rig and back up to try to get some help. There's only 3 avatars here. They do have some rank to them, and they are beginning to slowly get whittled down. Another EMP on the Marv over on the left-hand side of the map, and another EMP on the Titan. That's very good. There's another EMP on the Marv as well. This Marv is just absolutely stopped and moving forward. However, the assault is continuing over on the right-hand side as well as these mana tanks begin to move in. Another avatar finally gets taken down, leaving only 2 avatars and an obelisk over here for the defense. This game is absolutely ridiculous. This Marv just cannot move. It's just massive EMP after massive EMP. Same thing with the Titan. There is only 1 attack bike left, unfortunately, or 2 attack bikes left, unfortunately. That might be enough to take out that Marv. That Marv has just a couple of shots left on it. There it goes. That Marv finally gets taken out, giving 2 ranks to that attack bike. Looks like AssassinSpy has put in a lot more work than I originally expected with these bike and buggy. He's just been able to take out so many kills and make amazing net games. We do actually have a fully heroic avatar. That's going to be super great for them. And there is the GG, ladies and gentlemen. AssassinSpy has taken 1 win from Shoktrepet. Grab yourself some refreshment, Commander. I will see you in round number 2. Welcome back, Commander, to round 2, match 2 between Shoktrepet and AssassinSpy. Our match is on Pipeline Problems. We are still on patch R21F, and if I'm correct, this match is immediately after the first one we just watched. Only changes we've got here so far is Shoktrepet is in the bottom with the red and is playing Zocom, and AssassinSpy is sticking to Nod and blue in the north. As I've said before, the common opener for this map right here is putting the crane down so you can get refineries and then building other refineries to slowly move your way over to the blue Tiberium over there. It looks like we got a little bit of small amount of a power problem over in the south. That's not that big of a deal. I don't know if he got a big advantage for that or if he just slightly changed up his build orders. We do have 2 harvesters per player. Grabbing that blue Tiberium, gonna be able to get them to get that early start. The scouting has begun as well. Shoktrepet moving down the center and AssassinSpy moving down the left and the right. I hope we get to see a little bit of Zocom's air power. I'm curious to see what the point of Zocom is versus this Nod, unless they just got random, but maybe Shoktrepet here is thinking of something that I am not, or maybe it's, I know plenty of people that just take the faction based off of the rocket harvesters, give them that little bit of air defense or just defense in general. And it looks like AssassinSpy is actually moving into Shoktrepet's Tiberium Spike and getting ready to block it off. I don't believe, no, actually AssassinSpy is moving into his own Tiberium Spike, and he's completely denied it from his opponent. That's going to hurt a little bit early on. Granted, that blue Tiberium is still going to be a massive boost, so maybe he just elected to not use those engineers, but still, you get the cost for that engineer back as soon as you capitalize it. Maybe just Shoktrepet just wasn't paying too much attention to it. Maybe he's not as familiar this further back. Because like I said, this is R22F, so this may be a little bit further back. You know, maybe Shoktrepet's a little bit off his game or something, or just doesn't know the map. Remains to be seen. Either way, it looks like we're going to have at least a small economic advantage on AssassinSpy's end. We did get some good scouting off on each set of bases. Both units did get taken out rather quickly, and the units for Shoktrepet are still inside with that super annoying foxhole, dealing damage weirdly to the construction yard. I thought you usually want to go for a power plant, but maybe he's just trying to be annoying. Either way. We did get an APC with an engineer moving over to the Tiberium Spike. Better late than never. Maybe he was able to get some more advantages in taking blue Tiberium in order to make that worse. We do get a Guardian Cannon to take out the one unit that was over here, the buggy that did its little bit of scouting. And we actually have a couple of bikes moving in for AssassinSpy. They could get something good potentially here. If they can take out that crane, that's definitely going to be worth the time. It's already at half HP. There is the repair. Taking out that crane early on will be helpful. It won't be super detrimental, but it'll definitely be helpful. They'll have less build order, and he's going to lose whatever's there. And there it is. AssassinSpy got the kill on the crane and is continuing moving forward. Now he's attacking the harvesters of his opponent. AssassinSpy is getting some massive gains off of these bikes. Bike's going to take out the next second set of harvester as well. There is a Guardian Cannon here, but it is too far away to do any damage. APC is here, but I think it's going to be too little too late. I would definitely commit to kill that harvester, and AssassinSpy does go for it. He loses all but one bike for it, but that was a massive gain. 4 bikes got 1 crane and 2 harvesters, and then dealt a good chunk of damage to that refinery. That is definitely going to hurt the economy of Shoktrepet, who's already a little bit behind here. Shoktrepet moving up over into the center of the map into his natural expansion, a little bit ahead of time of his opponent above AssassinSpy, but AssassinSpy is just absolutely capitalizing on his Nod faction, on the fact that he has this movement speed. Unfortunately, all these forces are just barely going to miss this MCV, but maybe they're looking for a juicier target. Maybe they're looking for some harvesters, and there it is. They find their harvester that they want to go for. Taking that out early on would be super great, but he's going to lose a lot of units for it. Is he going to commit for it? I'm not sure yet. Bikes do back out, and another one gets taken out. That's 2 bikes down. However, there are 4 bikes left here that are relatively uncontested. I take it back. There is a sonic emitter right there, but the bikes can outmaneuver it if they're watching just carefully. That sonic emitter is a little bit slow to fire. One harvester does almost get taken out. He's still alive. He might actually be able to take it out. No, it lives with just a barely small amount of HP. That harvester barely making it out of there alive. AssassinSpy not finding the purchases that he wants with those rockets, but still getting really, really close, or with the bikes. Game seems to be transitioning into a later stage. We've got some beam cannons over here. Sorry about the strange cut there, Commander. I got a weird desync, but we are back here in the center, and we have a sonic emitter starting to take out the construction yard of their opponent's beam emitters. Are moving forward and starting to pick off the opponents, starting to pick off Shoktrepet's units. The sonic emitter does finally get taken down. 2 hands of Nod come out, and I'm assuming the beam cannons are probably going to start taking out the construction yard. There they go. They're going after the construction yard of Shoktrepet, but the barrack is here for the block. While plenty of units move forward, some black hand squads, some militant squads starting to move forward, taking out the man spam of their opponent. Barracks does get taken down by the beam cannons. Beam cannons now have free reign on that construction yard. Construction yard is going to be soon to follow. There it is. The beam cannons have taken down the construction yard. That is 3,500 out of the pocket of Shoktrepet. That's going to hurt Shoktrepet immensely, losing all of these units left and right. It does look like AssassinSpy is probably going to lose his beam cannons, or at least a handful of them right here. Nope, a good chunk do make it out. He definitely found another good set of really good purchases, and he's actually got a couple of, it looks like stealth tanks over here. More of the forces of Shoktrepet are starting to move forward and press what advantage they can get, try to get a couple more of these beam cannons, and they might actually be able to get it, but the turret is here to take them out, and we actually have 4. Now 4 stealth tanks gonna move their way in here in a second. that did appear to be a second MCV by Shoktrepet, and it looks like we're actually going to get a kill on one of the Sonic emitters rather early, but he did expose his hand just a little bit, getting one of the units there, and there goes going for the other Shatterer, again taking that one out. He is going to lose one Stealth Tank to a couple of the man spam, but he was able to get 2 Shatterers, possibly another Harvester. That's 2 Shatterers and a Harvester, and only losing 2 Stealth Tanks. That's not a bad purchase. AssassinSpy just doing an amazing job finding great gains in what little unit he has. No, he's gonna leave that power plant there just with 1 shot left. Probably not worth to lose, but that makes sense. They're gonna take a couple more shots on the refinery on their way out, and they're gonna just continue being a pest and ultimately buying themselves more and more time to set up in the center, so AssassinSpy can move in on Shoktrepet over here. Shoktrepet has a small little bit of a defense set up, and he has Hammerhead possibly to deal with those beam cannons. That's not a bad idea. I don't think beam cannons can shoot up, but we'll find here in a second. But there are a couple of stealth tanks here, and here are the reinforcements for Shoktrepet. Shoktrepet's going to get a couple of units here. It looks like it's going to be infantry, and the infantry move forward, pushing out the beam cannons over in this contested territory, over in the center of the map. Hammerheads move forward. Stealth tanks are going to move forward and try to defend their beam cannons. They're going to take out 1 of maybe possibly 2, maybe 3. Nope, it looks like just 2 of the Hammerheads, almost 3 right there. Man Spam is going to move forward by Shoktrepet, moving into AssassinSpy's base. So AssassinSpy is ready for it. He has a couple of Spectres down. It looks like he has something giving himself a little bit of stealth. He's got an Avatar here as well, but I'm not sure what he has to deal with the Man Spam. It looks like Black Hand is going to be his answer to that. That's not a bad answer whatsoever, but this is still a good chunk of Man Spam moving forward, and they have those Tiberium field suits, and it looks like they're AP ammo. So that does appear to be what Shoktrepet is going to go for, Shoktrepet is going to lean into. Hammerheads are back and moving forward, taking out one of the avatars. That's definitely got a sting. Losing every single one of those avatars is going to be really painful. No anti-air yet to deal with these Hammerheads. These Hammerheads are relatively uncontested as they move forward. There are a couple of stealth tanks over on the right-hand side, and they can get a couple of good shots off and almost take out another. No, they move back in and actually losing another Hammerhead there. I don't know if he saw those stealth tanks. I know that the name is as it says on the tin, but he does lose 3 Hammerheads almost for free. More Man Spam and more Pitbulls are moving forward. I believe Pitbulls do not have their upgrade just yet. One does get taken out by the beam cannon. Beam cannon's just finding an amazing purchase here, even taking out a good chunk of the Man Spam of his opponent, and it looks like the answer is going to be Shredder turrets on the front line of AssassinSpy to start dealing with these guys, but there's so much land here to defend. Shoktrepet just keeps moving his forces further and further to the right as they take out more and more with this. Harvester is going to get caught in a really bad position and going to get taken out for it. Those Rocket Squad's going to make a really good job of taking those out. They're trying the best they can to kill these Shredder turrets, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. MCV does move forward into a construction yard. Probably going to get a Sonic emitter over here on the front lines for Shoktrepet. That would be good to take out a lot of stuff here. If you didn't know, the Sonic emitters shoot a very large beam all the way through. And actually, no, the beam cannons and the Spectres are going to take out another construction yard. There it goes. There is almost 7,000 in cash that Shoktrepet has lost just in MCVs. That has got to stay. AssassinSpy has been absolutely on top of it and has been everywhere on this, and he's transitioned into a couple of Venoms. The forces of Shoktrepet are starting to look anemic, and there it is. There is the GG. Shoktrepet decides to throw in the towel against AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy just being absolutely aggressive there, taking out Shoktrepet. GG to both players. We're moving on to match number 3, Commander. I'll see you there. Welcome back, Commander. This is match 3 of my grab bag series. This time we are on Tournament Arena. Start us off in the top left-hand corner of the map, wearing the green robe, sporting the SOCOM gloves. We have Aquatech. His opponent for the moment in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, wearing the purple or blue robe, sporting the Traveler 59 gloves. We have DESolatorTrooper. Both fighters ready? Begin! We are in patch R22 Echo this time around, so this is much further in the patch than the previous one we went with patch R21F of Master Leaf set of patches. We actually have a couple of Disintegrators over here by the Traveler 59 player by DESolatorTrooper moving their way in over on the blue Tiberium. Maybe hoping to grab a early Harvester, but I don't think they're going to find any purchase there. Buzzer Swarms almost, oh, there they go. They do finally kill the final scout of the Traveler 59, or of Aquatech over there, denying what's left of the scout, but that's only going to be able to do so much for that. Desolator Troopers are moving, or not Desolator Troopers, Disintegrators are moving their way slowly over on the left-hand side of the map, trying to find some sort of purchase. Maybe they can grab a Harvester, maybe they can kill something. And I'm assuming we're going to get some APCs here in a minute. And that is actually an unfortunate time to sell off that Watchtower. Means at least one, I think that's 2 squads right there of these troopers are going to move their way forward. Mine drop does happen, saving that APC just a little bit longer. They do end up taking out in the end, but they do die ultimately to everything else that is here, to the Watchtowers, to the APC, saving that Harvester able to live. Oh, we're getting a little bit of a treat here. We have some Ravagers by the Traveler 59 player, actually with an upgrade already. They already have the speed upgrade. I think he's waiting for another unit or 2 to make their way in there. Maybe we'll get to see some plays here in R22 Echo with some Ravagers. I'm always excited to see these units. They don't get used as much as I would like. I just think that they're an interesting units. Maybe they're just not super viable, but let's see what Desolator Trooper is going to be able to get off with that. A little bit of scouting coming back from Aqua moving his way into the south. APC does catch a couple of these buzzer squads. That's going to get rid of some of the defense for these Ravagers, but so far the Ravagers are absolutely uncontested, and they're moving their way over to one of the Harvesters. They might actually be able to get a Harvester kill. There it is, there it is. They do get a kill. Those 2 Ravagers were able to do really, really good work on that particular Harvester, and I don't think there is a response. There actually is a response. APC is going to move its way forward. I think it's actually going to get taken down by the Ravagers. There it goes. 1 Harvester and 1 APC. That's not bad for these Ravagers. I'm curious if he can get anything else off with them, or if the gig is up, or if the jig is up, and what he has is what he's got. I guess he's got a couple of units left here. They've only taken a small amount of damage, so they can potentially do something else with that fast link if they can find their way. They're going to take a couple more shots from the Rifleman squads of Aqua scouting around and poking around, looking for where those Ravagers possibly are, or just happen to get lucky when he sees that. Ravagers still scurrying their way around, trying to find some sort of opening. They do get a couple of these Rifleman squads, but that's not going to be what they're looking for. They're going to want to try to get maybe one of the Harvesters once again, but there is a large number of Rifleman squad to deal with these Ravagers. Ravagers actually going to do a good amount of damage, taking the heart of the refinery down to half HP. Just these 2 sets of Ravagers have put in a lot of work for Desolator Trooper. Desolator Trooper doing an amazing job capitalizing it. And we actually have a little bit of a rank up on 1 set of the Ravagers, the healthier set. I don't know if you can repair those units at all. I don't play Scrin at all, so I'm not sure what you could do. I guess if you got a Corruptor, you could probably repair them, but I don't think... No, actually, they're repaired by the Warp Sphere. Okay, so I guess they count as some sort of, like, organic vehicle thing. I guess that wouldn't be too unusual. Natural expansion from both players have moved into their respective places and have started to set themselves up more and more, not really man spam, but Rifleman squads are moving their way in to get this constant scouting on top of on top of Desolator Trooper. So far, it doesn't look like Desolator Trooper has made his way over to GDI base, has made his way over to Aqua quite as much. But he has done a really good job with his harassment where he can. Nobody has decided to go for the blue Tiberium. Maybe it's a bit out of the way. I guess until you have a refinery over here, it is definitely going to be a bit out of the way. And even though Aqua is a little bit late to the party here in the center, he is going to get his refinery off first, but that won't matter if he cannot defend it. It doesn't look like he has too many troops, and Desolator Trooper is starting to move his way into his opponent's base. Hammerhead is over in the bottom right-hand corner doing some minor harassments. That's going to be extremely minor compared to if he loses yet another Harvester right here. These Ravagers are just finding an amazing purchase, moving their way in, trying to get even more and more kills where they can. However, they're just not quite able to find what they want. Hammerhead's going to move its way in and get taken out just as soon as it arrives. Watchtower comes out for the defense for Aqua, pushing Desolator Trooper back over on his side of the map. He's going to take over the center part of the map, which is going to be good for him. Once again, that center control is extremely important in games like this. There's so much that it can do for you. Aqua has either lost the troops in here or he's decided to move them out in order to get some scouting. It does look like we got our first refinery over here by Desolator Trooper. He's a little bit behind on the development of his natural expansion, but very, very, very marginally, at least with as far as building infrastructure. We may get another assault here. Maybe we'll get an assault here on the Tiberium Spike, but actually instead we've got the Zone Shatterer moving its way in, the sort of the upgraded version for Zocom. It doesn't look like he's able to get really any purchase, and he gets a couple of good shots off on one of the gun tanks, and we get some EMPs over here, and there it goes, gets taken out, and another set of Ravengers manages to get another small rank up, but as soon as that Zone Shatterer dies, another one pops up. It was able to kill 2 gun walkers right there, and it looks like this one right here is able to damage a whole bunch of these. More and more gun walkers are going to get taken out left and right. We do have a couple of seeker tanks here for the reinforcements, or I say couple. There's a whole 1 seeker tank over here, and it looks like the turns have tabled for DESolatorTrooper. He had the advantage in troops, and he is slowly starting to lose that, having to run into the Zone Shatterer after Zone Shatterer. Those Sonic-style weapons are very good, especially against the sprint units. The Zone Shatterers can be just sort of good in general. And it looks like Zone Shatterer is going to start taking its early harassment. Lightning Tower is going to come out here for the defense, isolating this Zone Shatterer. He's still going to stay here and try to commit to what damage he gets. He does get a Seeker Tank before he dies. Not anything amazing, but that is still better than nothing, and he gets a little bit of scouting for it as well. Hammerheads hammering the Tiberium Spike over here for DESolatorTrooper, deciding not to take it out and move their way somewhere else. I don't see where they went. There they are. Maybe they're making their way back. Maybe they need to refuel or something. Lightning Spike does finally get taken down, and we do have our first, it looks like, strike taking out actually one of the Seeker Tanks. Strange target to go for, but he did get what he wanted, and we've got a couple of cultists here taking over one of the units, taking one of the Zone Shatters of their opponents. A whole bunch of Gunwalkers seems to be the answer DESolatorTrooper has to all of this air and to these Zone Shatterers. And one of the ranked up Zone Shatterers is going to get grabbed by a cultist and move its way in and taken out by the Hammerheads. Aqua doing a very good job just having few units to push back the units of DESolatorTrooper. We are going to get another engagement here. We're going to get some man spam versus all of these Gunwalkers. That's not going to be in the favor of the Gunwalkers. However, there are 3 Zone Shatterers here, which are going to be able to do a good chunk of damage to these Gunwalkers. Gunwalker after Gunwalker gets absolutely mowed down by the Zone Shatterer. There are still a good number of forces left for DESolatorTrooper, but that has got to sting. This is a smaller map with a small amount of resources. Losing every single unit is going to be important. One cultist does grab the Zone Shatterer, but he dies just as quickly as he's able to get it. One Zone Shatterer does get taken out, one gets EMP, another Zone Shatterer gets taken out. These cultists actually doing a pretty good job taking out the Zone Shatterers, which are going to be the primary threat. Sure, these Gunwalkers are here, but they need to kill these Zone Shatterers in order to save their units. He's just stacking his Gunwalkers up too much in order to fight them. More and more EMPs do come out, but they're not able to commit on the assault. They're not able to do what they want, and we actually got a good chunk of snipers here, probably to deal with the cultists. There you go, snipers moving their way forward for Aquatech. They do actually take out one of their own units, 2 of their own units. There's still a lot of cultists here. Sniper after sniper is getting absolutely taken out, absolutely destroyed. However, there are Zone Shatterers on the front doorstep of DESolatorTrooper. DESolatorTrooper doesn't really have a massive answer. So far, the only thing he's been able to do is get these cultists in order to get the Zone Shatterers to kill each other. And that does appear to be working. Another Zone Shatterer does get taken over, and it actually takes out 2 of the other Zone Shatterers. 2 Zone that went from Aquatech having way more Zone Shatterers than his opponents for it to switch around. Absolutely. These cultists just doing a great job, and DESolatorTrooper finding an amazing purchase in grabbing those Zone Shatterer after Zone Shatterer. Aqua just not able to find the purchases that he needs. Getting a bomb off, maybe to get some scouting off, maybe hoping there was a refinery there. Not sure what his thinking was for that. Maybe it was just purely for the scouts. And it looks like non-stop snipers seems to be the snipers, and Zone Shatterers seem to be the answer for Aqua. I'm not sure how that's going to fare super well, because if there's a whole bunch of these cultists, which there are, they're just going to be able to take over sniper after sniper, causing them to kill themselves. Maybe if you throw in a little bit of man spam, a couple of rifleman squads to support those units, that might be pretty decent. Gunwalker's going to move their way forward. This is a good number of Gunwalkers, but we've seen what just 3 Zone Shatterers can do over here in the center of the map. They're not piled up like he probably wants here, so it's going to be much harder to get kills because they're not all in one immediate line. The Shoktroopers are going to move forward and get taken out almost immediately, and it looks like these Gunwalkers are actually going to do a good number of damage to the Zone Shatterers. Cultists are going to take over one of the Zone Shatterers, hurting one of the ones near the bottom, but we have more and more reinforcements. These gunwalkers are just not able to do too much against all of the zone shadowers, and in fact they have to retreat over back to their base. We do have a prodigy here that's probably going to try to do some sneakiness here in a little bit. Well, we'll get to see that in a moment, hopefully. We'll get to see something pop up. One gunwalker is sort of stuck here, and we have our first tripod over here by DESolatorTrooper. I feel like that would definitely be the answer. That's what you need to deal with these shatterers. Not that the shatterers can't do a good chunk of damage to the tripod, but the tripod supporting all of these gunwalkers is going to be great, but these gunwalkers keep bunching up. DESolatorTrooper keeps bunching up. More and more gunwalkers getting taken out. One tripod is going to go down, taking out 2 zone troopers with it, but the majority of the forces of DESolatorTrooper have been desolated. They do take out the corpse, making sure to deny that for their opponent so he can't get an engineer out there, and one zone shatterer is going to be plenty enough to deal with these 2 gunwalkers. We are getting another tripod and a couple more shock troopers of their opponents, or of DESolatorTrooper over here, and they're starting to move their way forward. Zone trooper, or zone shredder after zone shredder is going to get taken down. Tripods definitely seem to be the answer. That tripod has half HP and it was able to take out 3 of the zone shatterers. Aqua's going to need some sort of transition. Just going snipers and zone shatterers are only going to do so much. Sure, they can definitely kill these gun walkers, but there's only so much they're gonna be able to do against the tripods. He needs to find some sort of answer to the tripods. I guess maybe he could try potentially get him in a one-click, but the one-clicks for GDI aren't always quite as good or as accurate as from what I can tell of the Nod faction. You guys can tell me a little bit more about that. I haven't actually sat down and played Command & Conquer in a long time, literally since the Xbox 360 days. That's where I discovered Command & Conquer 3 at least. I did play Command & Conquer 2, Red Alert 2 on the PlayStation and on PC. And here we go, actually getting a little bit of assault over here. The 3 tripods are just going to be able to absolutely walk through all of these zone shadowers, taking out zone shadder after zone shadder. There are a crazy number of snipers here, but I'm not sure what they're going to be able to go for. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to grab. We do get our first mammoth tank that is a good answer to the Annihilator tripods, but there are a bunch of Annihilator tripods, and Annihilator tripods are actually joined now by the Devastator warship. That's going to be good. It looks like DESolatorTrooper has also moved up his MCV, moved up his drone platform to move further on. One mana tank gets taken out. There's another here to replace it, but so far there's not a massive answer to the Annihilator tripods just yet. There is a one-click right there, and it looks like the tripod is actually going to move its way, unfortunately, into the one-click, into the stasis field. That had to have been a bit of a misclick. I can't imagine that he did that on purpose, although I'm not sure it matters. This looks like it is definitely DESolatorTrooper's game to lose as long as he can maintain this assault and not make any critical mistakes. He has Aqua by the short and curlies. He has Aqua by the ropes. Having these Devastator warships, having all these tripods move their way forward is going to be super great, and most importantly, Aqua has lost all of those units, and the Tiberium is extremely low. He has got to be starving when it comes to economy. I think he spent too much time on those zone shatterers, which did deal a good chunk of damage to the gunwalkers, but that doesn't help you here in the late game. More and more tripods are beginning to move their way forward, taking out mammoth tanks, taking out construction guards, and this is not looking great for Aqua. Aqua is in a rather precarious spot. He does have mammoth tanks, but I think they're going to arrive too little too late. There is the T3 taken down, and these Annihilator tripods are just on his front doorstep. There's not much that he can do. The fat lady may have not sung, but she may as well have, because this game is all but in the bag for DESolatorTrooper. There is the win. There is the GG by Aqua, giving DESolatorTrooper that round. Thank you so much for tuning in, Commander. I have been your host, Korak. Transmission out.